How you doing, everybody? This your man Yisrael Ben Yehuda, and today I'm coming at you with a message about my awakening, which was, man, every time I think back on it, what I'm saying, it was, it was awesome, you know, crazy. But I'm going to share this message with y'all, which I believe all other people should share to help with our other people who are just awakening and the ones who need to wake up. You know, videos like this, I think would help them, to awaken and farther our other people that's just beginning to wake up. So, let me get started. It's just saying, I started out as being in the Christian church. I come from the Christian church. I was raised in the Christian church as a kid. So as far as being a Hebrew Israelite, I knew nothing about it until the age of 34. 34 is when I first found this information out. I never heard anything about a Hebrew Israelite. Nothing. Ever. Never seen them. Never heard nothing about it. Even though I've been on the internet. I was an internet surfer. I've been all through the internet. And I never seen one of those videos. It was just something that didn't dawn on me. Because my mind was directed in another, I was directed in another direction, busy with other things. So I never seen that. I never seen it. But God, He started to open my eyes to it. And He introduced me to it, even though I didn't wake up right away, which most people don't. Most people don't wake up right away, even when they're introduced to it. So you have to be patient with people and their awakening. Don't just think that they're just gonna magically just wake up because you said a few words about us being Hebrew Israelites. It's not gonna work like that. Okay, you have to allow them to go through their transition. Okay, but my first introduction to this was when God allowed me to come across a page of this lady named Janelle Proctor on Facebook, and I seen it and I didn't know anything about what they was talking about. As a matter of fact, I thought they was some type of devil worshippers or some type of occult or something like that. And I used to get angry with them. I used to go on there just to argue with them because I thought they was wrong. And I had no idea, you know. I wasn't even listening to nothing they was talking about because I thought they was completely wrong. Talking about I was a Jew and the people in Israel wasn't. I was like, how dare you? I'm sticking my finger in their face. Everywhere, not in their face, but I'm, so I'm getting upset. How dare y'all say this? Blah blah blah, this and that. I'm arguing every day with them. Through her page. A lot of the sites that I went on, they blocked me. They tried to explain it, but I think it just got too bad. They blocked me. I was very arrogant, and And what's the other word I'm trying to think of? Uh, blind. Very arrogant and blind. I didn't know nothing, and I had no clue. But that was my first introduction to Hebrew Israelites, our people. And, I didn't wake up right then and there. It didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was arguing with these people in and out every day. But the actual beginning of the full awakening for me came 6 months later. 6 months later. 6 months of going back and forth with them, then my full awakening came. And it came with God. Okay? It came with God because God talked to me then, even before my awakening, and He talked to me after my awakening. You do. Whether you believe it or not, God do talk to some of us, out here. Okay? But what God told me as I was riding down the road, He spoke to me as I'm a over the road truck driver. And I'm driving my truck down the road late at night. And he spoke to me and said, "You're my people." And I'm thinking in my mind, "Your people?" I'm like, "Okay, Lord, I know I'm your people. I know I'm a Christian. I know that already." And he was like, "No, you're my people." And I'm like, "Okay, I don't understand." And then right at that point, he put uh, the thought of Jews on my mind. And I just connected two and two, and I was just like, "No, this can't be. You can't be saying I'm a Jew. You know what I'm saying? I'm your people. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Jew. No way." He said, "Do your research." Okay. Now, okay. Before I go any further, now understand that when I'm using these terms like y'all instead of Lord, and you know what I'm saying, this name or Jesus, or I'm using Lord instead of the proper names. Understand that I'm using the other names for our people who are not awake that might come across this video. You got to understand, if they're not awake, they don't know all those terms, the correct terms to call Jesus or the Father. They don't know that. I didn't know. I didn't learn these things until my awakening. Okay, so I'm using the other terms so they can connect. Okay, so stick with me here. I know the terms, but I'm using the other terms for them. Okay, so stick with me on this. Now, as God told me to say, do my research, I didn't do it right away. I didn't do it. What happened was I called a lot of my friends up, and I was just like, "You ain't gonna never believe what God just told me." You know, I said, "I believe Jesus is a black man." And then I said, "I also believe that, you know what I'm saying, all the Jews are black. We're the Jews." You know, and it was like, no, they basically, everybody told me I was crazy. You crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. No, this means that, and that means this, and this means that. I'm like, okay, but right in the middle of those conversations, where the last conversation I had with a friend, God spoke to me and was just like, "What are you doing? Don't listen to him. Get off the phone and do your research like I told you to." And I was like, man. So, I got off the phone with him. I didn't tell him why. I didn't even tell him God spoke to me right then. I didn't even tell him. I just, ended the conversation. We got off the phone, and that very night I started my research, and I'm coming across all these videos I never seen before, and I'm looking at this stuff like, and that's when my full awakening began right there. Okay, that's when my full awakening began. Okay, even though I was introduced 6 months earlier. You know what I'm saying? That's when my actual awakening began, but I didn't awaken. You know what I'm saying? The full awakening was 6 months later. So I'm looking at all these things like, man, and I'm gaining knowledge, and I'm gaining knowledge, and as I gain more knowledge, I want more. So God lead me to more. And how I found all these things, God kept leading me to it. Like I said, I never heard nothing about it. God just kept leading me to it. Go here, go there. I see a person. Click on that video. Click on that video. Don't click on that video, but click on this video. That's how he was telling me. If I came across any wrong information, he would tell me that information was wrong. So I would dump it out. Or he would tell me to take this information and put it with the other information. Or put this with that in the Bible. And it just all started coming clear. But I did have one huge point where I was about to dump it all. And that's when I came across them guys, the Hebrew Israelites that be on the street corners like GMS, GOCC, ISUPK, them guys like that, because of the message they was teaching. Now I might have grown up in the Christian church, and I might have not have known who we were, but I did know one thing. It's about Christ died for everybody. Okay? So when they was teaching that message about Gentiles going to hell and all this and that, I knew at least that much that part wasn't right. And what really made me almost not be in was when they was talking about the 12 tribes. These so many tribes are black. These so many tribes are Puerto Ricans and Spanish and these other people. And I'm like, you know, I might not know a lot of information right now, but I'm thinking in my mind like, that don't make sense to me. So at that point, I'm about to dump the whole thing. And right at that point, God was just like, what are you doing? He said, why aren't you doing your research like I told you to? And I'm like, I just don't understand, Lord. I don't understand what they are talking about. I don't get it. And then he was just like, you want to know who the 12 tribes are? I'm like, yeah. It was like, follow the slave trade. I like the slave trade. So what I did was I took the list that they had and followed the slave trade to all those places that they're saying that those were our people. And I also found how they got that list together because I found it in the Bible where God said that he sent us to. And that's how they put that list together. And the list is correct, but the people not correct. And that's what they don't tell you, because all 12 tribes are Negro descent. And I found that out by following the slave trade like God told me to. Okay? Like they'll say Ephraim is the Puerto Ricans. Okay? Now, the one thing they telling the truth about is that our people are in Puerto Rico, but the Puerto Rican natives of that land are not our people. Our people that came from the slave trade, just like we came from the slave trade to America and were sold into slavery, our people also went to Puerto Rico in slavery. Our black people. If you Google it right now, you'll find out that slaves, a large amount, went to Puerto Rico. Okay? Cuba, Dominican Republic, Guatemala, all these places, our people went. Okay? So when they're saying that the natives of those lands are our people, that's a complete lie. And they got their own agenda behind that. But if you can go Google it right now, use common sense, and see that when you do that, you'll find out our people, our black people, were sold into slavery in those lands too. So the tribe of Ephraim is black, and they're sitting right there in Puerto Rico. Okay? It's the Afro Puerto Ricans, or the Afro Cubans, or the Afro Dominicans. It's our people that's in those lands, not the native people of those lands. Okay? Look a little deeper. And our people are there. Okay? And that's how you know who the tribes are and what they're not telling the truth about. So, okay, God got me back on point with that. And I just kept, strengthening my walk by my research and by reading his book, researching the book and researching history, what I'm saying, and our genealogy and everything. By archaeology, everything. Research it all. And it all comes together like a big puzzle and fits in place perfectly. Okay? And you're just going to get stronger. Along the way, see, this is what happened. During your awakening, you're going to go through something similar like I did. But understand that you're going to hit some bumps, because what the devil does, he got to hit his people out. These 10%ers, the Illuminatis, all these secret society, Illuminatis, Freemasonries, Bilderbergers, people like that. All these people that's oppressing our people. Okay? I mean, we are under the curses because of what we're doing, but at the same time still being oppressed because they're trying to stop us from waking up. Okay? So you got to understand that you're going to hit some bumps because of the things that they put in place to try to stop us from awakening. Okay? That's what they want to do. So you're going to hit some bumps along the way. You're going to come against some brick walls. You got to jump over that wall. And the way that you jump over that wall is by sticking to your research and sticking to the Bible. And if you don't know, if you came across another intelligent Israelite that's already farther in it than you are, ask them. And they can point you in the right direction. Okay? They will point you in the right direction, or pray and pray about it. And I guarantee you, when you pray about it, God will answer you in your awakening and lead you into the direct direction. He'll lead you straight to it. So you will come to these walls where you will hit it, but you got to stay on track and stay with the research, keep reading the Bible, and keep putting the puzzles together. And then you'll find you'll jump over that wall. You'll come to another one, you'll jump over that wall. And then after so many walls, you're just going to go straight in a line. You might hit a couple of bumps, but you're going to go straight. And then you're just going to become stronger in your walk as a Hebrew, because that is your bloodline. Okay? I'm talking to all our people that were sold into slavery. Okay? You are a Hebrew by blood and Israelite by nation. Okay? So, that was my, awakening, all in a nutshell. Okay? Because a lot of people don't understand. I only been awoke now for, it's been a full year. I just turned 36 about a week ago. What's the day? Today's date is January. Let me see what today's date is. Today's date is January the 19th, 2015. And I just turned 36 last week. Okay? I only been awoke for a year now. My awakening started when I was 34. And even I gained so much massive information in just that 1 year. See, people awaken different ways. God came and awoke me directly, where some of our people, God is using the other people to go and awaken them, teaching them. Because even though He's waking all of us up within ourselves, He's also waking up a group, a remnant within ourselves as teachers. Okay? And which I found out that I was one of those teachers. That's why He came to me and he put it on me. He came to me personally, and started my awakening. And then said, now go out and teach. And that's what I've been doing ever since. Okay? And people couldn't understand. I would come across other Israelites everywhere, whether it be on person, on the internet, anywhere we go. And they would be like, they're thinking I had years of this. They're thinking I've been awake for years. And they also think I've been a part of a church because of the information I know. So they was trying to figure it out, like, man, you are so knowledgeable. And I was like, well, I only been at work for a year, so it shocked them. Like, a year? How do you know all this stuff? And I explained to them that God Himself, awoke me and then told me to go teach. So all that information that I gained during that year, He was showing me. As I was doing my research, He was showing me where to go, where not to go. You know what I'm saying? What to kick out, what to keep. So that's how I gained so much information in a year, of the Bible and everything. And even then, He still got me going and putting it together. And people are still wondering. So now because I'm explaining it to you now. Okay? He has awakened me personally and has been working with me on that on a massive level. Okay? And I'm really starting to go out and teach. My teaching started on Facebook, and then it starting to spread over into YouTube. But at the same time, I'm starting to go out into the streets now and awaken our people up. You know what I mean? I'm even just being stopped on the street by people. I might just have on like a shirt like I have on there, Hebrew Israelite, and I get stopped by a lot of people, not just by our people, but by Gentile people too. Just today, I got stopped by 2 white people, asking me. And I explained to them, and their eyes began to open, like, oh, wow, I never knew that. And they began to see. You see what I'm saying? And I spent a couple of hours, going over these things with them, last night, a couple of brothers. You know, they was already awakened, but they was in the beginning of their awakening. So they had a lot of questions that they didn't understand. And I stayed with them and I talked them through it, you know, and gave them my information and sent them some videos and told them, come to my Facebook page and, check me out, and they got my number so they can call me anytime if they have any questions. Because at the beginning of your awakening, it's very critical. It is. It's a very critical point, you know. So, and understand that when you begin to awaken, surround yourself with other Hebrews that are awake, so you can grow and go on the right path. Don't join them guys in them camps. GMS, GOCC, UPK. Do not join these camps. Okay, them guys are preaching false messages. Okay, those are our people. Besides the Puerto Ricans and stuff like that they have in there, that they're mixing in, as I explained to you when they preach that they are tribes, it's not true. Okay, but the main people themselves are our people. Okay, but you got to understand that they're preaching a false message and they got their own agenda behind that. Okay, they got their own agenda behind that, and they're also being used also by these Illuminati people. They're being used by them, and it's to stop you from awakening. Okay, so do not, you know what I'm saying, uh, induct yourself into their camps. Don't do it. Okay, just if you're a part of a church, I'm not going to tell you to leave. Even one day you probably will. Even as I'm not a part of my church anymore. I still do associate with some of them. I have nothing against them. They're just not awake right now. They're not awakened. But God talks to many of them, even in their blindness. You know, and some churches, I'll tell you like this: some churches that you'll go to, some of the mega churches, even some of the small churches, some of the pastors are awake, but they won't tell the people who they are. And some of them are being used by the Illuminati people too. But you've got to also understand that as a large number of our people, even the pastors themselves, who are not awake yet. Okay, they're preaching, but they're preaching in blind mode. And they don't know any of these things. Okay? And you will have to help go out and open their minds up to these things. And you have to be patient. You got to be patient. Tell the truth. Be respectable about it be respectable about it when you do it. But continue to open their eyes, to it. And let them know, hey, we're these people. And some of the things we doing, we don't need to be doing, Sooner or later, they'll have to awaken. Everybody has their appointed time that, this would come across them. Okay? Everybody has an appointed time. So, I just want to, pray all the best for you in your awakening. Whether you're in your beginning or just or haven't even awoken yet, you might be looking at this video. This video might be the beginning of your awakening. Okay? And I pray in some form in way that this video would help you while you're just starting to awake. Because I know how hard it is and how critical it is in the beginning. Okay? And I'm just trying to give you a heads up of what you're going to go through. Okay? And yes, you're going to lose some friends, even family members, because they're going to not believe you, especially if you're sitting in the church. They might kick you out the church. I'm being honest. They might kick you out the church. And you might have to find some way to worship, on a Saturday, without people, which is a really good thing because it's going to help you grow better. But I'm just, I'm warning you, what I'm saying, because they're still in their blind state of mind about who we are, and some of them not gonna want to listen to that right away. Okay, so I understand all these things in your awakening, and I pray all the best for you. And uh, this message should be going out of. You'll probably be looking at this message from my YouTube page. Uh, I don't have many messages on there. I have a few, but I'm going to make a lot more. You know what I'm saying? A lot more because God is putting it on me to make them. Okay? So it'll be some things that I'm talking about that's going to help you grow and that you need to know. And there's other people on YouTube that are very, very knowledgeable. You just got to search and find them and look them up. If you come to my page, you can find some of them because some of them are on my page on YouTube. There's a lot of Israelites on my Facebook page. If you type in Yisrael ben Yehuda, okay, let me spell this out for you. Yisrael, Yisrael. That's Yisrael ben Ben Yehuda, Yehuddah. Yehuda. Okay? Type that in into Facebook and you can come to my page. I put out a lot of information that will help you in the beginning of your awakening, or if you're just starting to awaken, period. Okay? And there'll be a lot of other Israelites on my page. Send them a friend request. They're accepted. And the things they put out on their page will help you grow. Trading information. We're growing together back into our nation. And, we're coming together back as a nation, okay? So, I hope to see many of you, and I hope this video has blessed a lot of you. And I pray to all my people, that are awake, and you watching this video, do a message just like this. Put a message out about your awakening, how it happened, and all this information, what you went through, and put it on YouTube or Facebook. Trust me, it will help. It'll help the beginners or even the ones that's even more experienced too, and it'll help the ones who need to wake up if they come across it, because you don't know what information they already came across that's stopping them from being able to wake up. Okay? I mean, let's flood YouTube and Facebook and every other social media with these awakened videos. Let's do it. Okay? But I thank you for watching this video, and I pray you all, have a blessed day. And let's just get done. Okay? Blessing shalom, Yashriel, and be safe.